It's hot take time, guys. Today, I sent into my premium Discord asking members to send me stocks that they are bullish on for 2025. And in today's video, we will be reviewing all of those stocks and talking about either a buy or a sell. I'm going to be brutally honest in this video. And if I do not like these stocks, I will be 100% selling them. And if I am truly in love with these stocks, I will obviously be giving them a buy rating. Now, this is the first time I've ever done a buy or sell video. So it really does help if you guys do drop a like and subscribe as always. And just a really quick word before we do get into this video, I do want to let you guys know that we have our free Discord linked in the description down below. You guys can join over 500 plus profitable traders, and we have over $500,000 in premium profits year to date. Now we're looking to target around $3 to $5 million, so make sure you guys do join up and do not miss out on that opportunity. Alrighty, guys, and jumping into our first stock here, we're going to have AMD requested by my boy Jay, Franklin, and Grayson here. As AMD has been on a recent downturn, this is the best time to start looking at stocks like this. So I am really happy that we got this pick thrown in here. But I do think that there is a few areas that we can target for the upside, and then also a few targets that we can target as the downside, maybe median reversal zone. So I do want to first talk about that, where I do think that we could possibly see a bounce coming in around $98.79, which is honestly pretty close to where we're sitting currently. So I do think that either a bounce is on the horizon very soon, or if we are to see a bear market ensue, I do think that obviously more downside is to occur, but I do think that will just give us better buying opportunities. And I do think that the next zone after that would be around 95, 91. And then from there, I think the lowest that we could possibly go is really going to be around this $72 range. But I honestly don't see that coming. I do think that we will find a bounce sooner than that. But obviously, like I said, if a bear market is to ensue, as we have seen that the markets have been pretty weak recently, I do think that there would be more downside to come first. But nonetheless, I do think that this is a great company. They have great financials and they're growing at a great clip. And then we also do know that AI is going to be the future. So whether they are, NVIDIA and they're the best in the class, or if they're just number two, I still think that they are very undervalued and will have some good room to run in the future here. So I do have a targeting highs of around $385. And now, with the way that the market is looking right now, I don't know if that's going to come by the end of this year. It is 100% possible if we are to get a bull market. But I do think that something that is more realistic for a bull market now is going to be something like this around 277 at that one extension. So I am targeting that, but I do think that we can work our way higher. Now, I don't think that comes this year, but I do think that this 260% return up to 385 will come probably by the end of 2026 at the absolute latest. So I do think that if a bear market is to ensue, we will still probably see a bounce by the end of the year. I do think that we still can get back up to around that 170 range because I do think that this company is worth at least $200 right now. But I do hope that we do see around a $280 top by the end of this year, and that would lead to around a 161% return. So I am going to give this a buy rating, and we're going to start this video off hot by giving AMD this buy rating. So let's go ahead and jump into our next stock here. And jumping into stock number two here, we're going to have NVIDIA and Tempest AI. Now, I'm not going to be jumping into NVIDIA's chart because I do think it is an obvious buy right now, especially with markets being on a recent downturn and NVIDIA well away from all-time highs, seeing about a 35% retracement from those all-time highs. So I do think that NVIDIA is a buy right now. And if you guys can get any NVIDIA shares under 110, under 100, and possibly under $90 if we are to see a bear market, I do think that would be a great long-term choice for your portfolios. So I do think that NVIDIA is a buy for me, but let's go ahead and jump into Tempest AI here. You can see that we are currently in this upward channel, and I do think that this channel will hold and we will eventually see more upside, but I do think currently we're headed down a little bit more to around that $41 range where we could possibly see a bounce off of this gap, or maybe fill this gap at $37 and then continue higher from there. Now, we did see a large run up of around 120% after Nancy Pelosi's buy, and since then we have seen a sell off of around 50%. So obviously this is quite a volatile stock, but I do like to play the upside on this one, and I do think that we will return to all-time highs and exceed that, targeting around a 195% return from around that $40 level all the way up to around $122.45. Now, I do think that it will be a bit of a choppy road up there. I do think we'll find our way back up to the 618, and then from there maybe reject down to our 389, and then from there probably extend up to at least our one extension back to all-time highs, and then from there to our 1618. Now, I don't know the timeline on this. We have seen this stock run up around 122% in around 3 weeks time. So this could honestly happen in a month's time. This could happen in a 2 month span, a year span, or it could honestly take much longer. But I think with a young company like this, with a market cap of only around $8 billion, this thing can move very quickly. And that is what I expect to come with Tempest AI. So I am going to be giving Tempest AI a buy rating here as well as Nvidia. So I do think that Tempest AI is a great buy right now, and I would highly suggest scooping up some shares if you guys can get shares under around $42. All right, guys, and jumping into stock number three here, we're going to have Tesla requested by my boy DMAC. Now, Tesla is actually a very interesting case, as we have seen the recent boycott. We have also seen recent tweets on Twitter, and we have seen EV sales drop from that. So, I have recently sold out of Tesla because I was not a big fan of what I was seeing with those drop in EV sales, the boycott, and then what Elon's been putting out on Twitter just didn't align with my views. I don't have a political view by any means, but I don't want politics involved with my stocks, if that makes sense. So, that was just my personal choice. But I do think that Tesla is headed for more downside, looking at around 209 for my low. And if we are to get there, I think we do see a sizable bounce staying in this channel. And I do think that we can see highs targeting around $661. Now, once again, if we are to see a bear market, I do think that that will take more time to play out. But ultimately, I do think that Tesla is a buy. And I do suggest that this company will see highs at around $661 within the next 2 years at most. So I'm not going to be buying back into this stock, so I will be giving it a sell. But I do think for most investors that this company will be a buy. I do think that they are growing at a great clip, and I do think that SpaceX with Tesla and their robotics will all multitude together in a great company. So I do think that Tesla is a buy long term, especially if you guys are looking at this as a robotics company and not an EV company. So I do expect Tesla to move higher in the long term, but for me, it is going to be a sell. But honestly, I do think it is a bit more of a buy, and I do think that we will see some more long term profits in the future. Alrighty, guys, and to go ahead and wrap up this video with our last stock here, we're going to have Alibaba, requested by my boy Mikey in the premium chat. Now, Alibaba is up around 50% year to date, and we have seen these Chinese stocks performing very well. So I am going to play the hot hand here, and I do think that Alibaba does have some more upside, as I do think that this is a very good company, and nonetheless, the chart is looking great. As you guys can see, we flipped former resistance, now back to support. So if we can hold this level at around $129.81, I do think that we can continue much higher, and my target for the end of the year would be another 70%, making that around a 200% year-to-date return. And I do think that that would take us all the way up to around $220. Now, this box right here is going to be the golden zone retracement from right here. So I do think that we could possibly get a bounce to the downside out of this, but I do not think that would last much longer. And I do think that we will see all-time highs by at least the end of next year, if not possibly by the end of this year. This thing can really get going once it gets started, as we have seen before. So I do think that this company can see all-time highs by the end of this year, and that would be resulting in around another 145%. Now, that is a bit of a stretch, but it's definitely possible, especially if some more bullish news comes out with the Chinese stocks in general. So I do think that we can target that. And then long term, looking at maybe late 2026, early 2027, I think we can see a 280% return from prices today, targeting highs at around $480. That's going to be our 1618 extension. So if this company can continue to grow at the rate that it has been, and Chinese stocks do perform well over the next few years, I do think that we do see some more upside and some great upside at that with Alibaba. So I am going to be giving this stock a buy rating. All right, guys, that is going to go ahead and wrap up this video from me here. That was buy or sell. And if you guys do not want to miss out on any future buy or sell videos, make sure you guys do join up in the Discord down below, and you guys could be possibly featured in our next video. Now, also, I do have two videos on the left and the right of me right now, so make sure you guys do go ahead and check those out, and I will see you guys in the next video.